Hello all, welcome back. So today we will discuss something about the design pattern. So this will be gonna like a series of videos as this design pattern having lots of pattern to cover. Like as you know, this is a huge topic to cover actually. It's having lots of things to cover. So it's not possible to cover all the things in a single video. So that's why it will be gonna a series of videos. So and also I'll try to cover most of the pattern in detail one by one. Now like if we back to this design pattern, java design pattern, so how like we can use this design pattern and what will be the purpose and when we need to use this design pattern, right? So like suppose if we are want to build or develop any kind of applications or system interface applications, so basically what do we need for developing this kind of softwares? So from the initial perspective, if we want to develop any applications or system, then first of all we need one language, right? So nowadays if we say like one of the best language for developing this application, so java is the best language for developing the applications. So if we learn this java in a week or month, so after learning we can start the development. So let's say we have learned this java and then we have started our applications, own applications. And so while starting this one, so suppose say we have writing the codes and something. So while writing this course in mid of this between, we have stuck somewhere. Maybe we are trying to writing something, and in there we are say see like the code is duplicate, or maybe we are not means we are writing lot of if else something, and we are writing the code in a complex way. So for resolving this kind of things, or maybe to recover from those scenarios, like how we can write a code in like in a easy way so that everyone can understand, and also it will not take more time in a robust way so that it will be debug also we can easily. So in certain scenarios, or maybe this kind of situation also may be faced by some other developer who are developing those softwares. So for resolving those common problems, actually design pattern is here to help actually for helping. So design pattern actually are the best formalized practices that programmer can use to solve common problems when designing an application or system. Design patterns can also speed up the development process by providing like tested proven development design, right? Reusing design pattern help prevent to cause of the major problems, and it also improve code reusability for coders and architecture who are also familiar with the patterns. So if we are going to use the design pattern, then it's also having some benefits, like design pattern are already defined and provides an industry standard approach to solving a recurring problem. So it save time if we use the design pattern, right? There are many java design pattern. There are many design java pattern that we can use in our java based project. Using design pattern, it promotes actually reusable code that leads to more robust and highly maintainable code, right? Suppose we are having means writing code that can be maybe reused from multiple places. So in that case, what we can do, we can write this particular piece of code in a single place so that it will be like called from every places. So like the credit of this design pattern goes to the gang of four. So they have designed this kind of design pattern. It will help us a lot. So if we categorize this design pattern, so we can categorize this design pattern uh, in actually three categories, like creational, structural, and the behavioral design pattern. So let's like moving forward. So it's having these types of the design pattern. It's having the creational, structural, and the behavioral. So like if we let's say when we are going to use this creational, structural, and the behavioral design pattern. So the creational design pattern, it's actually provides a solution to instantiate an object in the best possible way for a specific situation. So it's basically like suppose we are having certain scenarios that we need to create of the object of complex situations. So in that scenarios we can use this creational design pattern. Creational design pattern also having some other patterns it's having, so that I will show in the next slides. Next is the structural design pattern. So structural design pattern provides a different ways to create a class structure. Like let's say like if we are using the inheritance and the compositions to create a large object from a small object. Next is to like behavioral design pattern. So this pattern actually provides a solution for better interactions between objects and how to provide loose coupling and flexibility to extend easily. uh, in this except this 3D one there is another actually miscellaneous, we can say miscellaneous design pattern. Actually this also having some patterns like DAO pattern, MBC pattern, but it is not comes under the doesn't come under the gangs of 4 design pattern. So now let's if we are discuss about the creational design pattern. So creational design pattern also having some other pattern, like as you can see over here, singleton pattern, factory pattern, abstract factory pattern, builder pattern, the prototype pattern. All these things are belongs to the creational design pattern, but we are not like means it will be used based on your situation, like in which situation you are going to this particular pattern is fit or not. So in this scenario, like based on the situation we can use those pattern. It not necessary to that we can use all the pattern in our project, not at all. We need to understand the situation, we need to understand the scenario, so based on the scenario we can use those things. Like if we are want to explain one scenario here, like we need only there is a one class and means what all the situation the only single object should be created. Now in this scenario we can use the singleton pattern, and this singleton pattern is responsible to only create the instance of the object only in overall the lifetime is a one. So this is the case, so based on the situation we need to understand, and then we can accordingly we can create those objects, use those pattern. Next, if we are go the structural design pattern, it's also having some other design pattern is having 7, like adapter, composite, proxy factor, flyaway, design pattern, facade, bridge, and decorator. Obviously, those are also again like based on the situation, those can be used. Like if we say one example, the adapter pattern. This adapter design pattern is one of the structural design pattern that can be used to unrelated interface can work together. Like there is a two object those are not related, so that interface we need to work with, then in this certain scenario we can use this adapter. Next is like behavioral design pattern. So this is also very interesting design pattern. It's having like 11 design pattern, and template method, mediator, chain of responsibilities, observer. So if we say about this observer design pattern, so this is kind of like useful when we are interested to know the state of an object and want to notify it when there is any change. Then in the certain scenario we can use this kind of observer pattern. JVM also use there are a lot of actually observer pattern like this JMS, we can say this is also used, JMS, Java messaging services. And next like having this miscellaneous design pattern, it's having the DAO, dependency injection, and the MBC. So MBC is very old pattern, like model view controller pattern, and DAO pattern is related to the persistence layer kind of thing, and the dependency injection pattern is basically used for loose coupling objects, so that the object can be used very loosely coupled. So these are the all the things about the or introductory part, you can say about the introduction of the design part. These are the all the designs patterns that we can use based on the situations in our project situations, whenever the situations or like any scenarios, the based on the situation we can feed those pattern. And in the next series of these videos I will explain those pattern in details. If you guys having any concerns or any queries, so please do let me know in the comment sections. See you in the next videos. Thank you. Bye bye.